Hey guys, how we doing? Thanks for joining me as always for another live stream from downtown right here in Bangkok. Good to have you in, and I don't want to slip too far behind in the comments tonight from saying hello to everybody, so I'm going to whiz straight into them and get through them, and then we'll talk about some serious stuff. All right, so the first person in tonight, no fat chicks. Word around cowboy is Marley is going to eat a big banana on tonight's show. No, she's not. I haven't seen her for a long time. I had to laugh, I made a video. I showed you my house last week, and I said I've got a girlfriend, but I'm not going to put her on camera. And a load of people said, "Well, we know it's Marley." God Almighty, no, it's not Marley. Believe me. All right, Ryan, how you doing, mate? Good evening. Nice to see you. Chris, good to see you. Always in nice and early. Donald Trump, good evening, sir. Anders Bergman, hi. Happy Sunday. Yeah, Innovations. TB, Oktoberfest, isn't it? It's gone right over my head. Let's get these currencies up so you can see what your currency is doing. You probably don't check it every day. You can see it there. I've got a bit of a gruff throat tonight. I think it's from the pollution, but we'll get through. Right, Gringo Patty, where are you? I've just seen your message there because I'm glad you're in. Very nice person I met recently. We had lunch, and I'm going to show you something that hopefully will make your night if I can find it. Oh God, I can't find it. Where is it? It's gone wrong from the start. There we are. Two handsome men. Yeah. So this is I believe his name's Ro. We met in the New Bakara a few weeks ago. He's in Pattaya now. A very nice guy. Treated me to lunch. And if you are watching right now, it was good to meet you. And thanks again for lunch. And hopefully you're having a good time in Pattaya down there. Okay. All the best. Right. And I found a photograph. Some people say to me, why don't you show any photographs from when you were younger here in Thailand? And, I left a load in England and they get mislaid. And I never carried a box camera, but I found one photograph from Thailand. I must have been about, 28. I look really, really, I'll keep it till later. It's so funny, It looks like me, obviously, but just looks like a gormless twit. Well, not unlike I am now, I suppose. Right. Okay. What we're going to talk about tonight, we're Ralph Garnett, great name there. How you doing? Ralph Garnett, not Alf Garnett. Ver251209, is it? Hello, Peter. Thanks for the tour of your house and all that info. Good of you to share that kind of thing. I'll talk about that a little bit later on. I don't want to bore anybody who's not interested in it, but I'm going back down to Hawaii tomorrow, Tuesday actually. So there'll be some more videos coming up. It's up to you. How you doing? Florida Gator, nice to see you in. Shinrana, how you doing? Aussie Rose, see, I'm whizzing through these now so we can get talking about stuff. Shane O'Traveller, greetings from Melbourne. I always get told off for saying that wrong. Jim, how you doing? Back in the States now. Paul Hoskins, shower decap everyone. Okay, I thought it was going to be a rude one there, Paul. Damon, who'd have thought it, Damon? Look, evening, Mr. Peter. Tip top stream, loved your picture. Thank you. Who'd have thought it, Damien, 5 years ago when we used to chat every night on the phone in the UK? Who'd have thought in 5 years' time we'd both have a house to move into in Thailand? Unbelievable, isn't it? Let me just turn this aircon down a touch. I've got the only aircon in Bangkok that's got a remote, but I have to go right up to it to make it work. It started leaking the other night. Yeah, Gringo Patty, how's your night? Yeah, it's going well. I hope you enjoyed that photograph. Martin, how you doing? That was a nice video you sent me, Martin. I haven't watched it all. I know it's short, but somebody rang the doorbell 7 minutes in. Paul, how you doing? Paul Cannon, is it? Uncle Willie B, greetings from Los Angeles. Good evening, Peter and all flats from Torchy. Let's get rid of this now. It's long enough for now. There we go. Right, Travelman, how you doing? Good evening. How's everything in Hua Hin? Well, I'm actually in Bangkok right now. I'm in my apartment. My last month, can't believe it. I've got 3 weeks left. I've been here 3 years. I moved in here when my head was all messed up. When I went through my not messy, but when what happened with the wife and everything, kids, and can't believe 3 years have passed so quickly. Be happy, Pat. Hello to all of you. Hotel Bar One, how you doing? Dog, hi. Colin Moore, hey Peter, how are you? Loving the new house. It's brilliant. I'm trying to resist talking about it too much because I'm full of it, right? I love it, and we're going down to buy furniture and stuff. But I realize, a lot of guys are not interested, so I'm trying to hold back and not kind of talk too much about it. Glenn, greetings from Toronto, Florida Gator. Right. Hey, Peter, I have a friend of mine who is leaving for Thailand on Tuesday to retire there. He's 72 years old, and is wondering what his options are for healthcare. It's very, very difficult once you're over 65, because you know what insurance companies are like. They want your money, but they don't want to pay out when you need it. And that's why I'm self-insured. I don't know of a company who will insure him if he's got no preconditions. He might be able to get insurance, but it's difficult. I would say, I don't know what his financial situation is. Maybe self-insurance is the way to go. Keep a load of money in the bank for emergencies, and then if he has to go back to the States or wherever, there's no easy answer. I mean, I've tried for years to get insurance, and I've never been refused, but they put all the things in there that that I could be paying for years, and then they won't pay out when I need it. So I'm sorry I can't be more helpful with that one, but it's insurance companies, they're famous for it, aren't they? Christopher Tate, hi Pete, I hope you're well and have a good week. Thanks. Cupid Stunt with an S. Hi Peter and Mongols. You certainly did. Okay. How you doing, Thai American? That was a great picture you sent me. I wish I'd had time to download it. If you'd sent it 30 minutes earlier, I could have showed it. Okay, so Thai American, he sent me a picture. Do you remember Dave, Alpha Amigo occasionally? I actually wrote to him and said, Dave, why don't we do a video together? And he wrote back and said, yeah, okay then. So I said, well, look, call me tomorrow. And he said, will do. And I never heard from him. He never called me. But I had to laugh because, he made that video where I went to the Royal Oak and I was eating fish and chips. And he made a video and he said, oh, I've seen this YouTuber who's eating fish and chips, fast food in Thailand. What the hell is he doing here in Thailand, eating fish and chips? and this guy, Thai American, he's just sent me a picture. And where is he? Where is Dave? He's in McDonald's, stuffing his face with a quarter pounder with a big yellow M on the window. I might make a video tomorrow and have that picture and say, what the hell are you doing in Thailand eating McDonald's? Funny, isn't it? Uncle Nene, what the hell are you doing in this stream? Right, okay, let's get real now. Mark Saunders, hi Peter, not seen a live stream in a while. He's still in Bangkok. I am today, not much longer. Off to Hua Hin in 3 weeks on the 1st of November. Raymond Frank, great pics of early Patty on your Facebook page. Yeah, I mean, I try and with the Facebook page, I try and keep it separate. There's no point in having I've got 54,000 people on Facebook now. I try not to upload the same content on Facebook as I do YouTube, but there's no point really, is there? So I tend to the vintage photographs and things. I tend to put that all up on Facebook. I can't resist. Look, talking of vintage photographs, I'm going to show this later. Just to recap, a lot of people say to me, look, where are your pictures from when you're in Thailand? Now, I'm going to show you a picture. I think I was about 28 in this picture. No, I must have been more than that because I didn't get here first time till 31. Maybe it wasn't in Thailand. I think it is. Maybe I'm 32. I don't know. Maybe it was Indonesia or somewhere. I don't recognize a cap. I don't know where it was. I got a cheesy grin on my face. But this was me probably. How old am I now? 65. This was about, I think, 35 years ago, 37 years ago. I mean, talk about cheesy, eh? I mean, look at that gold chain. There might be a drop of gold in there somewhere. But you can see in the background, I'm obviously in Southeast Asia, but I don't know if it was Thailand or Indonesia. It's definitely Southeast Asia because if you look at the front of my shirt, it's wet with sweat there. And yeah, big cheesy grin. I must have been on a promise that night. Show that again a bit later. I'll try and dig some more out. Richard, how you doing? Richard Woolley. URL Superbot webcasting from New Home or Bangkok. I'm in Bangkok for another 3 weeks. Have I missed a few here? I've missed a few, haven't I? Let me go back a bit. Gandalf, is it? Cheers from Manhattan. How you doing? Mark Saunders. Hi, Pete. I've read that, haven't I? Okay. Richard, number 5. Hi, Peter. Hi, all. Let's have a good one. Yeah, Brian, always nice to see you in, mate. Brian Street. Michael, hello, Peter. Good luck in the new home. Did you have a tash in the old days? No, I've never had a tash. Do you know what? The simple reason, I've never been very good at growing facial hair. I've got a kind of bit of a, not now because I'm 65, but when I was younger, I've always had this kind of baby face look. And obviously I do shave. You can see the evidence there. But I've never, if I grow a moustache back then, it used to be like soft hair, not bristly hair. So no. I never have had a moustache, never wanted to have one. That's what amazed me when I went to the Middle East in the 80s. And I was in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Bahrain, mid-80s, 84, 85, new culture completely. I didn't spot any Middle Eastern guy either in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, wherever it is. I didn't I didn't spot one that didn't have a tash. Every one of them had a mustache. You know, it's almost like a rite of passage. If you don't have a mustache, you're not a man, sort of thing. Richard, how you doing? Richard Woolley. Richard Arnold, greetings from Sukhothai. Oh, okay, you're in Thailand. Let's get your picture up there. I presume that's your lovely wife there with you. Good. Colin Moore, Peter, a lot have been with you since the COVID days. Yeah, and I appreciate that. But what I've noticed this last week, I've had a lot of people unsubscribe. When I say a lot, maybe, 20 have joined and then 20 have unsubscribed. But this happens every now and again. I get a bit panicky and think, why are people unsubscribing? And I put it into Chat GPT today and said, why are so many people unsubscribing? Because that has happened before. Then it goes back to normal. And what it is, every now and again, YouTube, they clear out a lot of dormant accounts. If there's been nothing happening on certain accounts, or their scam accounts, or they've found out things, they clear out a load of them. And if they signed up, then you lose those subscribers. Neil Mack, greetings from Mackay, Queensland. How you doing? Martin, when is the house warming barbecue? Let me get there first, Martin. Samuel, Fresnel Navis, just saying hello. Well done. Thank you very much. Damon, Peter, will this be the last stream from Bangkok, or have we got one more until the first date in Hua Hin? No, it's definitely another one, Damon. Let me just look at the calendar here. So there won't be one next week. There's one on the 19th, and then should be one on the 2nd. Yeah, this will be there'll be one on the 19th, definitely. So not on the next week's, today's the 5th, next week's the 12th, won't be one. There'll be one on the 19th, then there shouldn't be one on the 26th, and I should do one on the 2nd, but I'm probably going to have to take 2 weeks out because it's a big move. I've got a lot of stuff to do. So we move on the 1st. I'm going to probably have to, I won't be able to do any stories, live streams, and nothing for about 2 weeks, but it's the first time I'll be kind of away from it in 5.5 years. But I haven't got the time to make videos and move, so I'll try and make it as short as I can. But what I will do, I'll do some live streams, but not like this, just off cuff, while if I'm waiting for a sofa to come or something, I'll just sit down and do a quick live stream. Right. Who's giving me that now? Joyce Roma, thank you very much, mate. As always, every stream, let's put that up there. Very generous of you. They're few and far between these days, but you always give me one, so I appreciate that. A few beers on you. Right. Where were we? Okay. Gringo Pappy says self-insurance is the safest move here, given the age. Yeah, I mean, if you're a younger guy, I mean, it makes sense to get insurance. If you come out here on holiday, then yeah, insurance is a way to go. But once you get to 60, 65, I mean, I'm on statins. Who isn't on statins or some kind of blood thinning medicine? When you get to 65, it's a difficult one. Hobbs's choice evening to all. Hope you're all okay. Leonard, greetings from South Korea. South Korea, blimey, that brings back memories. How are you doing in South Korea? Colin Moore. I'm sure we all love hearing about your life stories, Peter. A lot of us have been here since COVID days, so I love to hear the progress and story. Not boring. You are what I want. You're inspiring. Well, thank you, Colin. That's very nice of you to say so. So give it, how long we've been going? Give it another 15, 20 minutes, and I'll give you the latest rundown, as it will, because there's another video in the pipeline for down there. Got a whole bunch of stuff planned out this week. But I'm a very organized person, so I'm not going to go down there and start making inquiries. I've already done them inquiries and ordered stuff, so it's just a case of getting stuff done. Florida Gator, he is coming with $84,000 in the bank. That's a nice bank account, and 25,000 US a month. Wow, he's in pretty good health. Only takes cholesterol tablet. If I've read that right, and he's going to be getting $25 a month, I wouldn't worry about health insurance. Tell him to stick $5,000 a month. If at the end of the year, I have a nice pot. He's coming with a very wealthy, I wouldn't worry about it. He's got more than enough to pay for it. Right. Who's this who's bought 5? Praval. Right. Praval's bought 5 Thailand Band memberships tonight. So if your name has suddenly gone green, that means you're now a member for the month. And you can come and join us in the members live stream in about an hour or so, an hour and a half. And you've got Praval to thank for that. If you want to be in on that, sometimes people give out 5, 10 memberships to people. They can't choose who they give them to. They're just random. So I believe you've got 3 dots next to your whatever it is where you leave your comments. So you've got to opt in. And if you opt in, you might be somebody who gets a free membership. So if you got one, it's Praval you need to thank for that. Okay. And thank you from me, Praval. Very generous of you. Okay. Where? Oh, and thank you to Eric Lambert. I missed that one. Super sticker. Thank you, Eric. That's enough for a good pint anyway. I'll have one in you tomorrow. Cheers. Right. Carl, great photo, Pete. We would all love to see more. The only other photograph I've showed you before, and that was in China. I don't know if you remember this one. Oh, I've taken it down. I haven't got it there. Okay, I'll try and find some more. But nowadays everybody's got a camera with them on their phone. But in those days, in the 80s, you had to carry a camera with you and to actually capture all this stuff. Shane, you said night shift has ruined my YouTube viewing for the medium term. Fair enough, Shane, no problems. Always do the rewind when you're driving home or something. Stephen James, you think Penn State will be able to salvage their season? I'll show you my ignorance. I don't even know who they are. I'm not into sports whatsoever. Glenn P, hi, just joined the chat now. New to move to your channel. English couple moving to Ohio next year. You've picked the right place as a couple. What was your name? Glenn, is it? Glenn, yeah. I presume you've been there on holiday a few times. It's not for everybody. I meet guys who are single who go to Pattaya for the obvious pleasures that Pattaya has to offer. Okay, but when you're getting on, I don't know your age either, but when you're with a full-time partner and you're getting on a little bit, let's say over 50, right? It's a nice town. It's a real nice town. You haven't got crowds of certain groups, that are kind of a little bit rude sometimes. There's plenty to do. There's lots of nice restaurants, clubs, places to eat, some brilliant beaches. It's a nice town, really nice. You did well there. I've been all over Thailand for years. That's why I've chosen it. I lived in Pattaya, jumped in actually, Naklua for a while, and it's a good town. It's not for everybody, but it's I think it's a nice town. Right, Leonard, how you doing? Happy Chizok holiday from South Korea. Wes, how you doing, Wes? Nice picture you sent me there of your street, nice and cool in Khon Kaen this morning. I spent 2 years in Khon Kaen there. We've had that discussion, so we won't go over that. Eric Lawson, bring back the old intro music. It was the same intro music today. Same. Oh, you mean on the videos? I don't think I'm going to do it. You know why? Because that's the flute at the beginning of the stories and everything. A lot of people like the new intro, and what I've decided to do, I'm going to change that every 6 months or so, because it's just clips of pictures taken from certain videos, and a lot of people have said they liked it. So I think I'm going to stick with it. To be honest with you. Colin, are you thinking about having a Bangkok meet before you? It's not my thing, Colin. I'll be honest with you. I get invited to YouTubers here in Bangkok. They have get-togethers certain nights where they say we're going to meet in this place, and there certain people who, I've fallen out with a few of them as well. You do, don't you? But some of them have written to me and said, look, we're having a get-together. We'd love to see you there. Come over. And but I don't generally tend to go to them. I'm one of those guys who keeps himself to him. I'm comfortable talking on a camera like this. In a room full of people, I'm a little bit shy. I don't like to be the person in the center of attention as well. I always hated birthdays when I was a kid, where aunties came up and did this to you and patted you on the head and all that stuff, So I don't think so, Colin. I generally keep myself to myself. Hobson's Choice, off to, I can't even pronounce that, but anyway, in the north, somebody else, you can see where you go. In the north, soon for a few days. Bangkok now is starting to grate on me. Need some quieter days. Somebody said to me, won't you miss Bangkok? And I said, well, let me think about it. Let me try and think of one thing or two things that I'm going to miss about Bangkok. And I really tried to think, what will I miss? Will I miss Nana Plaza? No, I never go there. Will I miss Cowboy? I never go there. Will I miss the BTS? I won't need it. Will I miss the restaurants? No, they have plenty down there. I couldn't think of a single thing that I want. One thing I thought of, Benji Kitty Park. I'll miss that because where I live, there isn't a park. But I've got a scooter and there's no traffic. I'm looking forward to it. Right. Travel Man today. Peter, quick question. Is an international driving license required from our home country or just regular license would work to drive in Thailand? Okay, so that's a good question. So I'm going to talk about licenses now because there's a lot of stuff going up on social media that wasn't true. And somebody criticized me on Facebook the other day, but the guy talking out his arse, he didn't know what he was talking about. Let me just blow the old trombone again. Always happens when I'm on a live stream. So basically, in answer to your question, let's get it up there again. So basically, how it works with a Thai driving license, you've got to be endorsed to drive those vehicles in your own country, and you've got to have an international license. So I'll give you myself, for instance, as an example. So when you come here, I'm legally entitled to drive a small truck, a car, or a van, and a large motorcycle up to, there's no limit, Harley Davidson 2000cc. I don't know if they do them that big. So because that's on my license, I then go to my post office, I used to, get an international driving license. They endorse that I've got that qualification. I come to Thailand. take it to the equivalent to the DVLA, and then I do a small test, like I do, make sure like I'm not colorblind and I can hit the brakes. So it's the kind of light box. And then they just exchange the license. But you can't come here if you haven't got a license and just automatically get a license. You have to do a driving test like the Thai people do, which isn't difficult. Somebody told me it takes 5 hours because there's a lot of theory involved, but it's not the end of the world. So in answer to your question, yeah, you can use an international driving license. If you're coming on holiday and you get an international driving license, you can use it for up to 3 months. A lot of people don't know that. It lasts for a year, but you're only legally allowed to use it for 3 months. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing, there was a lot of stuff going around social media where people were saying, it's always been, for the last few years, if you're a foreigner, you get 2 years driving license for the first 2 years. And then when that 2 years ends, you go on to a 5-year driving license, like I am now. Thai driving license, then it gets renewed for another 5 years. And there's a lot of things in social, I don't know, aircon, sorry guys. There's a lot of stuff on social media where people were saying that's going out the window. They're not going to issue 5-year driving licenses to foreigners anymore. But the truth of the matter is, I dug down to it, and what actually is going to happen, and this, you can take this to the bank. I'm not, I know what I'm talking about here. If you're coming out here on a short-term visa, like a DT destination travel visa, which they consider short-term, or a tourist, it's not a tourist visa, a stamp which allows you to come in as a visa exemption. That's what I'm looking for. You can get a 2-year driving license if you meet the requirement, but you can't get a 5-year license. But if you're on a long-term visa, such as a retirement visa, then after the 2 years, you'll get a 5-year and a 5-year. It's just, they don't see the point in giving 5-year driving license to people who come out here on short-term visas. And actually, when you think about it, it makes sense, doesn't it? If you're coming out here on a 6 months DTL visa, why would you need 5 years? If you're retiring here, that means you live here full time. So it makes sense. So long-winded explanation there, but everything I've told you there is rock solid. There's no, forget what you hear on other channels, other platforms. Because I heard, I did this. What I've just told you, I told on Facebook, and some guy came along and said, "Oh, don't believe what these guys say. They're only doing it for clicks to get their channel." Yeah, I probably am, but at least I'm giving out good information, not bullshit. Eric also give you a chat. Did he? Let's have a look. Sorry, Eric, if I've missed you. Let me go down. I might have to skip some of your comments because I'm way behind. I think I said hi to Eric. If I didn't, Eric, thanks very much. I didn't see it, unless it was the $5 there on the blue. Right, Dutch Buddha. Hey, Peter, chat and mods, have a great weekend. Thank you, Dutch Buddha. Chris, yep, thank you. If you don't know, Chris is in the background there moderating. He's been there for a long time. Most people, in the old days when I used to, do the live streams, I used to get a lot of shit off people, but it's not too bad now because I've got Chris and Damon and Franco when he can get out of bed. And generally most people get, the keyboard warriors get cut down in their stride, as it were. Stephen James, 22,500, not 25,000. Okay, so he's talking about it's a good bit, quite a good budget to live on out here, if he's not messing around with the ladies. But I guess at his age he won't be too much. Okay, a few people saying thank you to Pravel there. The Thai American, Gringo Pappy saying hi. Ryan Seeger says, I'm a winner. Okay. And if you haven't been in the member stream before, if you're a new member now, I have a 15-minute break, then I do a member stream afterwards. And it's a little bit different. The first kind of 20 minutes, half an hour is similar to this, but I've got a few competitions to do. Spot the lady boy, spot the Thai girl, Hooters girls, and all sorts of silly stuff. Joke of the week, the manga minute. It's quite fun. So you can test that out tonight. URL Droid Superbot. How do you receive these small amounts of thanks? You have a bank account linked to YouTube? No. It goes through to my YouTube. Obviously I'm monetized on YouTube. So I get a certain amount. It's not a huge amount of money, but it's better than nothing living out here. And if somebody leaves me a super chat, then that gets added on. But what a lot of people don't know is YouTube keep a third of it. So if somebody was, easy numbers, if somebody was to send me $9 to say thank you, I'd only actually get $6 of it because YouTube keep $3 of it. And people have said, well, why don't you just collect it directly through PayPal, or why don't you do it another way? But firstly, YouTube don't really like that for obvious reasons. And secondly, it's not as easy for people, to go off to a Facebook page. It's easy to just click super chat. And I appreciate it, T, hello from Hatiai. How you doing? Is that down south or Hatiai? Is that the one? Yes, down south, isn't it? Ollie, how you doing? Shane, I'd love to live in Jomtien. You need to learn to speak Russian these days if to live in Jomtien, Shane. No, still a good place. Glenn, we are both 55. I've been there for 5 days in April, booked to go back in 2 weeks, November. We are in Northampton now, not far from Kettering, my old stomping ground. Yeah. David, when will you be moving to O'Hain? All right, I'll talk a little bit about it now because a lot of people are asking me, and then I won't. I'll tell people to go back and rewind. Right, so the last video you've seen, I showed you the empty house. It's ready now. It's got the windows in it. The grass has been laid. We've got the keys. It's ready. It's green for go, as Thunderbirds say. So it's our place. It's ours. We can move in any time, right? My girlfriend who works in the hospital, she had to work until the end. What's the last day of this month? She handed a notice in. She's working until the 31st of October. We're only in the 5th, okay? Now, I've already handed my notice in this apartment. I'm paying 21. The landlady's going to put it up to 25, which is still very, very good for a 51 square meter where I am. And when I leave here, I'll show you where the apartment, I'll leave the empty. When all this stuff's out, I'm going to film the apartment just so you can see what it was. I'm going to go downstairs and show you the building because obviously I don't tell people. I'm going to show you the street where I live. I'm going to show you exactly the building, everything. But as it stands at the moment, now I've got to put the handbrake on because Tada, the Thai American, has sent me $50 there. So all bets off. Thank you, Tada. It's very. We do a lot of texting. We joke around with different things I can't mention here, but that's a generous super chat. I'll probably get dinner with that tomorrow. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. And if we ever meet out here, I'm definitely going to buy you dinner because it's not the first time you did it. Cheers. Right. Okay. Let me just find my place, and then we'll go. Well, I was about here somewhere, wasn't I? Right. Okay. Yeah. So the situation is this now. So we've got the place, as you've seen. So she can't. I've got the moving company. I'm going to do a video on the moving company. English guys, only 30s, but a big company out here. Fantastic. I'm going to interview him. He's going to come down to Hua Hin, and I'm going to tell you how to sort that out. I've got a company in Hua Hin who's going to come here, pick up my scooter, take it down to their facility. He's an Australian guy. They'll keep it overnight for me. I'll go in the car with my girlfriend. She'll ride the scooter back to my house. So basically, what's happening on Tuesday, we've already ordered the AIS fast speed broadband. My girlfriend called them. We're going down on Tuesday the 8th, and we've said we want you to come at lunchtime and fit the broadband. I've got 4 infrared cameras coming in, 1 on each corner, back and front. They're going to come on the 9th after because it needs internet. Obviously, it goes through the phone and everything. I already know the 3 air cons I'm going to buy. I'm not getting one for the small room. They're going to cost about 50,000 baht. We're then going to, on the 3rd day, we're going to go to a big place called Index Living Mall. I'm going to record all this to show you. Fantastic, huge place. It's got all the furniture, sofas, beds, bedroom suites, tables, chairs, you name it. So excuse me, burping away. So we're going to go there. I've bought a sprinkler system for the garden because it's got a new turf laid down. I hope it hasn't died. We've had plenty of rain. I'm going to set that up. I bought 2 timers so they'll, on the grass. I'm all well organized. So by the time we leave there, I'm hoping the internet's in, the cameras are in, we've got the sofa, the bed, the big fridge that I'm buying, double gas burner with a bottle. Everything's ready, basically. I'll close the curtains and leave a light on so we don't get burgled, unlikely. And then we're back here for 2 weeks. She'll finish her last 2 weeks remaining. In the meantime, the guy will drop off some boxes. We'll pack what we can. On the day of the removal, they'll turn up here 8 o'clock in the morning with 4 guys. They'll pack the lot, bang it in the van. They'll go down to Hua Hin. We'll go down in the car. We'll meet them down there about 2. They'll unload the van, and that's it. We're there. The next week will probably be spent unpacking boxes and setting everything up. And then after that, that's it. We're in Hua Hin. So really excited about it. Really looking forward to it. I've had a great time in Bangkok. This is a great place, but it's another. I'm 65. I want another dog. I want a bit of fresh air and the crowds and everything. I don't go to places like Nana and Soi Kai Boreno. I'm not knocking it. I did it when I was young. But I've just grown out of it now. Right. Okay, let's get back on track. I'm probably way behind. Look, I'm going to skip a few of these comments, guys. As they're going to be like 20 minutes late. I do apologize. Just write them again if you've got a question. Okay, I'll come down and I'll start with Pravo again. Right. Chris Card, you're welcome. Okay. Brandon Hutt. Isan has 1/3 of the rules enforcements than tourist areas do. And again, yeah, you're right. And it's with Hua Hin. The immigration in Bangkok is so strict. Like, for instance, you've got to get when you go for your if you go for a retirement visa, you've got to go to the bank and get your bank book updated. Then you've got to get a letter from the bank saying, yes, this is actually true. And then you've got to go to immigration on the same day. But a friend of mine went to immigration in Hua Hin. He says, I'm rushing because you need it today. And they're like, no, it's good for 5 days, and they're very, very helpful. So when you go out to the provinces, it's not as hardcore, like you say, in tourist areas like Pattaya and also Bangkok, although it's not a tourist area as such. Hobbs's choice. Colin Moore, yes, did it myself. £400 easy, 3 hours done in Asia. Okay, so I'm going to contradict myself here, okay? I've always been a big believer in getting an agent to do your retirement visa or whatever visa it is. And I stick by that. If you're coming out here for the first time or you've only been out here a few times and you don't like red tape and you don't like running around and you find it a little bit complicated, I would say stick with an agent. It's a good way to go. But I've actually, my friend has been doing it in Hua Hin, and I've actually got to the point now is I'm going to do my own visa. I'm going to do my own visa this year. And I'll let you know how that goes. Okay. It's not just about saving money. I don't pay for mine anyway, because I'm sponsored, but I just want to see how easy it is, because it looks like it's very easy to do actually. Once somebody sort of teaches you how to do it. Okay, fantastic wildlife. Hi there. Have you discovered Harry's yet in Hua Hin? Best Sunday lunches. You're not Harry, are you? No, I might have been. Actually, I went to one place. I don't know if his name was Harry, an English guy. I'm sure I'll go there because there's a the good places have a reputation, as do the bad places. I'll tell you a story. Time for a story. Okay, so there's a restaurant I go to in Hua Hin, which I actually love. It's a Thai restaurant, and it's if you know Hua Hin, it's along the railway road there near Wonderland, where all the bars are. And it's a Thai restaurant, and you go kind of in, and there's a big car park, and it's in there, and it's very busy. It's very popular. The food is really good. I mean, excellent. And somebody recommended it, and I'm an ex-smoker, and I hate the smell of smoke when I'm. I got a lot of shit because I put a post on Facebook. People say if you don't like it, you should go home and all this thing. Because I was kind of saying, look, when you're trying to eat a meal, if you're a non-smoker and you're smoking on a table over there, the smoke doesn't stay in a little bubble on your table. It wafts all over. And when you're trying to eat as a non-smoker, it's kind of disgusting, right? I'm not. If you want to smoke, smoke. It's not my business. But if it's next to me and I'm eating, I don't like it. So anyway, the story. So I was going to this restaurant, and every time we went there, within 15 minutes, there'd be 4 people on this table next to us. 3 people had spark up. Then somebody here, another couple had spark up. Then one over there. And it was like, shit, I'm in a mushroom cubit. They've let a nuclear rocket off. I'm in the middle of it. Why am I still here? But what I actually discovered is a lot of the guys and women who like to smoke go to this particular restaurant because they let them get away with it. It's actually illegal to smoke in restaurants. Even people think if it's an outdoor restaurant, it's legal to smoke, but it's not. The law actually states that you have to stand a minimum of 5 meters away from an eating area. So even if it's an outside restaurant and an inside, and you're in the end of the outside of the restaurant, that's still illegal. I had an argument with 2 girls in Soy. That's another story. We nearly got into fisticuffs. They're women. That's why we didn't. But what I'm trying to say to you, I'm not going to go back to that restaurant, because I've since discovered the reason that there are so many smokers go there is because the owner lets them. It's business, and the owner doesn't say, "Well, no, you can't smoke." So I've decided. I found another restaurant where they don't let them smoke, and I'm going to go there. I'm not trying to be a reformed smoker, and but it's just I don't like people smoking when I'm eating. That's the end. That's the end of it. Fantastic wildlife. That's the one we just read, isn't it? Ian Mitchell, thanks, Stephen. Jarrell Barrow, hi. Can husband and wife live out of $2,000 US? Okay, let me put that up. Right. Yes and no. So it depends how you live. If you're going to go out and eat a lot of Western food and you're going to pay 20,000, 25,000 baht a month in rent, you're going to be stretched. Okay. When you watch these guys make videos and say, hey, I live in Thailand, I party every night, I'm on $1,000 a month, come on out here, it's great. What they don't tell you is, what about health insurance? Okay. What about medical emergencies? What about if you've got to go home from some emergency, you need a flight ticket? What about all your medicines that you have to buy over the counter? What about other bills that you might not think about? It's not just about accommodation and food. Yes, you can live out here on $2,000, 2,000 US. That's like 64,000 baht a month. But you'd be in Hua Hin or Bangkok. It depends where you are. Again, if you're in Bangkok, you're going to struggle, okay, unless you're living in the sticks, and it won't be much of a nice life. If you're living in Hua Hin on $2,000, if you're careful and you're not unlucky and you get ill and you don't go to the best hospital in town, but maybe one a little bit cheaper, then yeah, you can. And I might get criticized there, but you know, you come out here to have a nice life, okay? You don't come out here to exist. I've met guys out here who say, hey, I live on 25,000 baht a month. I couldn't do that in England. I'm like, you're not living, you're existing. And when they tell me how they live, they eat noodles on the street every day for 50 baht. They live in one room. They'll buy a beer from 7-Eleven, and that's their life, you know. And it's like, for me, you might as well be back home. You're not living, you're existing. Jarrell Barrel, what a great name. If both husband and wife over 50, do we need individual retirement visa, or a husband can take her as a dependent? That's a good question. I don't actually know, to be honest with you, because I've never come across this before. I'm guessing and saying you would both need a retirement visa, or you could get a joint retirement visa. The best person to find out, click on the link in any of my videos. There's a link to Mark and Pom, One Stop Visa, Soy 6. Just send them an email. He will write back to you and he can answer that question. Never been asked it before. Good question. Brandon Hunt, don't have to worry about the orcs. Okay, I can't read that out. Let's not be racist here, guys. Shane says, dinner for the dog. Oh, no worries there, Shane. What I like about this house is I can leave the dog outside in the yard. It's completely dog proof. You can't dig under the concrete because there's a little bit of concrete where the wall is all the way around. The gate, he couldn't get through the gate. So and there's a big carport, so I can put a basket out there with his water and stuff, lock the gate, and we can go off for a few hours. And he's nice and cool. Put a little fan next to his bed, as it were, so he's not sweating his BJs off. And, if anybody comes along, hopefully he'll have them. I was kind of choosing dogs, and I was looking on ChatGPT. I was saying which dogs make good pets, but at the same time, if you're out, they make good guard dogs. I don't want a Doberman Pinscher that's going to rip everybody to bits, and I don't want one of those little poodle things, that the bar girls carry in their bags. And I thought about it. I like Labradors and Beagles, and I put that in, and ChatGPT kind of said, no, don't get if you want to kind of part guard dog, don't get a is that Mark just written to me there? Okay, hang on, guys. Okay, talk of the devil. That's Mark from One Stop Visa. He's just written me a message there right in the middle. So I just had to, because we got close contact, I just had to write and say I'll call you later. Yeah, so talking about the Beagle and the Labrador and ChatGPT, it said, don't get, if you want a kind of pet friend, a family friendly dog, and you want a guard dog, do not get a Beagle or a Labrador, because they'll help the burglars load up the van, taking your stuff away, which I thought was quite funny. And I've had 2 Beagles, so yeah, I kind of get the joke. It's not a joke in a way, because they would if they could. Paul says, what mix of foreigners are there in Hua Hin? I did the numbers. There's about 78,000 people live in Hua Hin. That's locals, foreigners, and everything. And when you walk around the central part, like Bintabat, the night market, Soy 94, Soy 80, you think, wow, this place has got so many foreigners. But the numbers come back as full-time residents in Hua Hin is about 3,800 full-time residents. And then it's a popular place for couples and people to visit. But you get a lot of older guys there, but there's quite a lot of wealthy guys live down there. So I'm going to be in the lower region there. But, it isn't patty, that's for sure. Stephen James. So the grass has been laid. What about Peter? Drop mic, leave stage. Okay, nice rhyme. Paul Hoskin, is there as much to do in Hua Hin as Bangkok? Nowhere near, Paul. It's not that sort of place. I mean, look, I'm going there with my full-time girlfriend of 3 years. Okay, we're like best mates now. We do everything together, and I meet subscribers and I meet a few friends and stuff. Having that living space, being able to get a dog, having that clean air, not the crowds. I can ride my scooter, drive my car like I did at home. That appeals to me personally at my time in life. But somebody like yourself, Paul, who likes the cleaners, a little bit of massage here, roly-poly, and all that sort of stuff, you might find it a bit boring. It's different strokes for different folks, isn't it? I've had guys to me and said, "Oh, I went to Hua Hin once, most boring town I've ever been to in my life." Fair enough. But you know, I couldn't live in Pattaya with what goes on there. Great place, Pattaya, but I couldn't live there. Martin, to put it politely, yes, plenty. No, there's plenty of that. It's not in your face like Pattaya. There's Bintabat, which is near the Hilton. There's 4 streets of bars, and the kind of bars I could compare them to really are the kind of bars you'd find in Tree Town and the Beach Road. You know, those kind of bars. There's a few. Bintabat's got 4 streets. You've got Soy 88, Soy 80, plenty of massage places. So yeah, I mean, too much information, Thai American. Right, Ryan Sager, have you experienced? Okay. Is that DKIY? Is your Thai wife much younger than you? Does she still work? Well, she's not my wife. She's my girlfriend. I've only been with her 3 years. Yeah, she worked in a hospital for the last 15 years. I think I told this story. Okay. When I first came here, I was here for a couple of months. I was a bit depressed with what had gone on. Then I decided to pull my socks up and that's an English saying, pull your socks up, right? It means kind of like get myself together. And I put myself out on Tinder and I had a few dates with some girls. Some were money girls. Some were, you know, they just wanted to be looked after and stuff. And then I met this girl who works in a hospital, doesn't speak any English whatsoever. Nothing, not a word. She can now. She's really come on. But when I met her, she didn't even speak one word of English. Okay. And we had a date and, you know, we kind of clicked and I forgot what the question I'm going on about. Okay. Age. Yeah, she's 18 years younger than me. So it's not like, you know, it's not like she's 22 and I'm 65. You know, I want to talk about my pension and she wants to talk about K-pop. No, she's, you know, we got on really well and she's very easygoing. She eats Farang food and, you know, looks after me and stuff. So I think I landed on my feet. What made me laugh is when I made that video about my house, about her house. It's her house. She got it on a mortgage, right? People were leaving messages. Oh, I've got to turn this down now. Hang on. You know that old saying, oh, he runs hot and cold. He runs hot and cold. That bloody aircon does. Yeah, when I made that video about the house, people were saying, oh, another simp. Oh, you know, he's been in Thailand all these years, thinks he knows it all. And, you know, he's going to lose all this money. And, oh, what a you know, all them sort of messages. And I'm like, you stupid. She's taking all the risks, not me. She's got, yeah, I'm paying the mortgage, but my rent's 21,000. I'm paying 11,000 on her mortgage. I can just get up and walk away anytime. She's taking the risk. She's finished her job. She's taken out the mortgage for 2.4 million. She's the one who's in the crap if we're not together. It's not me. So, you know, I don't know why people write stuff like that. You like that, did you? Nuclear strike. The Wonderful World of Whitaker. What do you think of Johnny? There's something happening down there in Hua Hin. His videos are funny. Yeah, I mean, he's got character, hasn't he? Like I said, I've stood in a bar with him before. I don't know him. I was about a meter away from him. I wasn't introduced. And I didn't know who he was at the time. That bar's no longer there. I've watched it. I haven't got time to sit and watch YouTube videos from YouTubers in Thailand, okay? But I've caught a few of his. I like the one where he went down Soy 80 with a spinning wheel and he had a top hat on and he's, you know, he's got character, isn't he? He's funny. You know, he'll come on and he'll say, how you doing? He answers his own question. He'll come on and say, how you doing? Good, thank you. Good, thank you. You know, and he's got a bubbly character. He's all right. He's very popular, you know. I've never met him. I hope I do meet him when I'm down there. Thank you, Macmillan Nurse. I always appreciate that. Good man. And also Brandon Hunt. Thank you for that. Couple of beers there. Good week this week. Yeah, I hope to meet him down there. There's actually a few YouTubers down there. Kelly Harnett, nearly missed you. Thank you there for $1. It's all welcome. Yeah, there's a few YouTubers down there, 3 or 4. I don't know any of them. I'm sure I'll meet them all. This is a true story, right? And this is kind of like almost embarrassing to a point because I don't expect. I just think of myself as a normal guy, you know. I don't think you know. I do know YouTubers who kind of think they're superstars, or you know, they think they walk on water, or they, you know, there's a certain guy in Pattaya who thinks he's God's gift to women. You know, I'm not going to name names, and I don't criticize anybody. It's just I see what I see, and I make up my own mind. Okay, but this is a true story. I was sitting in Banpur. I forget the last name. The night market with the dancing girls and everything. I always get criticized for not remembering it. Banpur something. Okay, somebody will tell me now. So there's a guy on the next table. I think I told this last time. There's a guy on the next table with a Thai girl. I'm with my girlfriend. I'm with Thomas, you know, the guy who you see in videos. And he was with his girlfriend, he's finished with now. And this guy kind of kept looking over, but not staring. And I was like, you know, maybe see me on YouTube. Anyway, after a while, my girlfriend went to get food and Thomas went to get some fish from over the other way. And I was on my own and he came over and he went like this to me and he put 1,000 baht in my hand. And I'm like, what's that for? He says, look, I'm not a guy to leave super chats. He said, I don't come into this. He said, but I've watched you from the beginning and I really like your videos and I just waited for the time and I want you to have dinner on me tonight. And I was like really flabbergasted. I was like, wow, thanks very much. And he says, when you get down here, he says, contact me. We get together. He said, I've got a nice villa. We have barbecues and that. We have people over. Give me a shout and you're invited over. And I was like, yeah, thanks. I've actually lost his number. So I hope I see him again. You know, I'm terrible with memory and losing stuff. And that's not the first time somebody did that. Somebody did that to me in Pattaya bus station as well. I won't tell you the story because I already told you. But some people are so nice. So, you know, I'm always going on about the trolls and the idiots who threaten me and stuff. But there's a lot of nice people out there as well. Stephen, living versus existence. But what is the meaning of life? Well, the meaning of life is reproduction. What else? What do you think Pattaya is there for? Right, Colin, to live comfortably with nothing crazy, you are going to need £2,000 a month about. That's like what you say, nearly 90,000. But I think you could do it on less, Colin. If you lived outside of Bangkok and you weren't a monger or you're doing the entertainment, for instance, I think you could get by. I don't think I spend that much. I mean, I have a good life and I think I only spend about 70,000 baht a month. And I think I'm going to drop that down to 50 when I move down to Hua Hin because it's a lot cheaper than here. But maybe you got maybe a bit higher lifestyle than me. You know, I am a bit of a dog at the end of the day. API, what breed of dog? Haven't made up my mind yet. A lot of research to do yet. I'm not going to get one straight away. I mean, we've got to settle in and, you know, I want to explore a little bit. I know Hua Hin quite a bit, but I want to find all the parks and the real nice beaches. And there's some nice towns half an hour away, 40 minutes away, which I can do on my scooter. I've already done a few. There's some real nice places down there. Yeah, they're the little dogs, aren't they? The bar girls carrying their bags. Martin, Irish wolfhounds. They're bloody scary things, them. They're like, do you remember the old Hammer House of Horrors? Or, you know, and it come on, you see like they were great in the 70s. You know, I used to ask my mum, oh, please let me stay up and watch, you know, Dracula's Last Encounter or whatever. Do you remember Hammer House of Horror? Peter Cushing, you know, with the you know, he always used to come on with a thing around his face like this. And the beginning was always a crack of lightning. And you see a stagecoach go through a forest, you know, to a big castle on the hill. I mean, all BS really. But, you know, how old was I? I must have been about 13, 14. Used to watch them, really good. Hammer House of Horror. Why am I talking about that? Because the Irish wolfhound, that's it. And you'd hear a whoo in the background. And it was always one of these, wasn't it? You see, you've only got to mention something. I can go straight into a story there. We'll make a video about it one day. Hammer House of Horror. Shane and Trevor grew up with the beagles. They're nice dogs, beagles, but they're pack animals. You know, they're only interested in sniffing. You know, I mean, I've seen people in the park throwing dogs. You know, you get these things where you put a ball in it and the dog, you throw it, you know, really far with a big plastic handle and the dog runs for it, brings it back and you do it again. My dog, I'd drop it at my feet and it'll just sniff off and go off. You know, it never comes when I called it beagle. He's lovely, but I wouldn't get another beagle. Mark Hanley, how you doing? Nice to see you in. I don't know, Stephen. Freemasonry Central. I don't think I'll be a Freemason. They wouldn't have me, but I don't know. That Martin guy on NDTV was slagging off another YouTuber to his face tonight. You aren't the only one. He's a real dickhead, that guy. I wonder if we're thinking of the same person. I mean, when you say he was slagging him off to his face, was it serious? Was he kind of saying, like, I don't like you, you know, get out of here? Or was it kind of like a bit tongue-in-cheek? Give me a clue if it's the same one. I think Martin Kosnick. Let me tell you something about Martin. I mean, I got to take my hat off to him. I don't know the guy, okay? I've met Nick a couple of times. He's a pleasant enough guy. I don't go in his bar, not because I don't like his bar. Like I've always said, I don't like to be the center of attention. I know I've got a YouTube channel and I talk to a few hundred people in here and I enjoy it. But I'm not the sort of guy who walks into a bar and like a lot of people come up to me and, you know, it's just not me. So that's why I don't go in kind of bars like Nick's bars, because it's frequented by people who kind of watch a lot of YouTube and they're all kind of a lot of other YouTubers go in there. But the reason I'm saying I take my hat off to Martin, because one day I've got a second channel called Thailand Bound Clips. Okay. I don't have anything to do with it. I don't actually run it. It's my videos. but there's a guy who runs it for me, and what he does, he takes my full length videos and he cuts up little 5 minutes clips. But when I don't know what he makes the thumbnails with, but they're really dramatic thumbnails. Titles will be like, "Wow, I never thought she'd do that to me," or I lost $50,000 in 5 minutes. How stupid am I? Stuff like this. And Martin came on and they were talking about videos, how there's a lot of AI out there and a lot of people making these stories in AI and, making videos that are really over the top sort of thing. And Martin brought my name into it, like I was doing it. And, I made a video back and I said, why is he picked on me? I don't know the guy, why is he picking out my videos? And anyway, I didn't think nothing of it. And he actually sent me a nice long email saying, look, Peter, I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. We were just talking about YouTubers in general. Your name just flipped off the top of my head. And he apologized. And I was like, okay, fair play to the guy, for a guy to write in and say, sorry about that, then that goes a long way in my book. So, fair play to the guy. I don't even know who that is, Martin. Patty O'Reilly's in town. I've never heard of him. Richard Woolley, I subscribed to Al just because Martin was being a bit of a... Okay. Yeah, I don't really watch them too much. Like I say, it's not because I don't like them. I just don't really watch other YouTubers too much. Thank you, Brandon, for that super sticker there. I think I've said already, Brandon, thank you already, haven't I? Okay. Same laugh out loud. I'll be cheering. Okay, I don't even know who this guy is. Okay, he must be quite popular by the way you guys are talking about him. Right, Martin Ryder. You know how old you are when you see ads on Facebook currently will writing services. Yeah. I'll tell you what pisses me off. It doesn't, right? Is if I leave a post on Facebook or sometimes a 1 minute clip on YouTube, I get these guys and they say, okay, old man, I'll see you down there, or okay, old man. They feel this like they're never going to be old. It's always like, okay, old man. Almost like it's a crime to be old. Oh, you've hit 50. You're not allowed on YouTube. Oh, how old? 60? Forget Facebook. You are an old man. 65? You shouldn't even be alive. I used to write things back to them, but everybody says to me, just block and delete. That's what I tend to do now. Yeah, that's not really the sort of information I want to share here, you old droid. If I meet you in a bar one night, how do you prove you're alive to the UK government to receive your pension? There's ways to do it. Thank you, Brandon. At least you can see it. Yeah. Paul Hoskins, can you go fishing in Hawaii? Yeah, you can. There's some great fishing lakes in Hawaii. And there's a lot of big hobby clubs in Hawaii. It's a big golfing town. It's a big pool tournament town. There's a lot of places to go fishing. They got everything down there. I used to fish when I was a kid. I don't think I'll be fishing down there because YouTube takes up my time. But yeah, for sure. Oh, you've got me wondering now. I'm not going to read out that comment, but I'm just wondering. I might have to watch tomorrow to see what happened. See, there's another one. Jeff Carter flew back home. I've never met the guy. He was in Kanchanaburi a while ago when I was in Kanchanaburi, and he went to visit the Death Railway the day before I was there, and never met him. Right, how do I pronounce it? Is it Orb Pibs? Good to have you in, Orb. I hope I haven't slaughtered your name there. Hi, Peter from the US. First time catching you. Good, nice to see you here. Just talking about anything, really, answering a few questions. Was that his name? Martin Ryder. Zolin, Hound of Dracula. Was anybody else a fan of those old Hammer House of Horror? I'm going to look. I've got one of this free video. I remember watching one. They used when I was a kid. Hammer House of Horror. Dracula and all that sort of stuff. They were great when you were a kid. But I watched one about 2 years ago. And they slammed the door on the whole castle walls going like that. Stephen J. API. I have a pug. Never a dull moment. Okay. Yeah, good looking dogs. I thought Martin was. Okay, I can't read out comments. I don't know nothing about it, to be honest with you. DKI, is it DKIWI or is it DKY? Anyway, happy for you in the next stage of Thailand, my friend. Did the same thing, Bangkok initially, then on to more relaxed, normal life in Hawaii. And nice your girlfriend can live there and still work. Well, she won't be working. She's actually retired. It was a big decision for her because, like I said, she said, she's been independent. She's never been married. She's never had any kids. She doesn't have any independence. She's got 2 sisters that I've met who live up in Lopburi, north of Lopburi, a little bit in the sticks. Very nice girls, women, I should say. And yes, she said to me in the beginning when we were talking about this, 3 years together living with me. She's not coming over tonight because she finishes at 8, so she wouldn't get here till 9. I start the stream at 8, so there's just absolutely no point because she's got to do half an hour on the BTS to go back in the morning. And she actually said to me, like, we sat down one night, she says, "Are you sure you can look after me?" And I said, "Well, if you mean can I give you a salary of 20,000 baht every month, then no, I can't. But if you mean can I feed you and pay the bills, then yes, I can." And that was enough. She was just a bit nervous. You can't blame her, right? She's earning 24,000 baht a month of her own money for the last how many years? To throw in a career, as it were, and rely on me is a big risk. Damien, give us another howl again. What, the old Hound of the Baskervilles? Oh, that was another good one, wasn't it? Real Deal TV. If you get a bar girl or freelancer and she is a starfish, you should ask for a partial refund. Absolutely. Brandon Hunt, 3K is my monthly plan, but I know we could live decent on 1K US dollars in Laos. Dog and cat food is probably the biggest expense. Don't ask many. All I would say to you on that I'm not saying you can't, but you've got to prepare for emergencies. If you have a medical emergency and you're not insured, or they won't pay out, and you've got no savings in the bank, and you're relying on $1,000 a month, it doesn't go far. It's surprising how quickly you can spend it. Michael, how you doing, Michael? One of my younger viewers. Certain bar makes you spend at least 1,000 baht before you can scan pay. Yeah, they're getting a little bit cheeky, some of the bars now, aren't they? All this 2-drink nonsense, before you can talk to a girl. Carl, Colin, I'll just say hi, Michael, if your girlfriend's watching, because you said she was. She might not be, but from the Philippines. If you are, there you go. Right, Carl, collies are really nice dogs, but well, this is a problem. I mean, he's going to be in the kind of compound most of the time. Yeah, I'll get occasion. I'll take him in the car, but I can't do it every single day because I'm about 6 miles away from town, and I won't be able to do it every day. I want a medium-sized dog who's quite happy to potter around. And I'll tell you the biggest problem in Thailand. If I lived in the UK, I can put my dog on a lead and I can walk around my local area, estate we call it in the UK, a local area, a few streets. But the problem in Thailand, they're full of soy dogs, and they're territorial. So you walk your dog around the corner, there's a pack of 4 soy dogs there. They'll go for him because it's their territory, new dog, and that's it. That's why I'm going to try and find a dog-friendly park that won't have soy dogs. I'll tell you a funny story. I think I mentioned this before. We went over to the house last time I was down there, and I was coming halfway. I have to do a mile on a little country road through the village before we hit the highway that takes us into Hua Hin, which is 15 minutes away. Okay. And we were talking on the scooter, and about halfway down this little country lane, I said, I'll tell you what, let's go and look at Mr. DIY or whatever shop it was. So I stopped the scooter with her on the back, and these 2 dogs come out of this driveway and just sat on the road looking at us, but they didn't bark, nothing. And then I was on the sat nav for a minute. I said, right, ready? Started to go. As soon as we started to pull off, the dog started barking. He got all brave, chased us, started to chase us. I stopped immediately, looked at him, and he just stopped running and went back in the house. That's what they do. They get really brave. But if you stop, because when we went to look at one house, some dogs were running like that, and I opened it up, and they started running after us. And my girlfriend says, "No, don't do that. Just stop and look at them." And I was a bit nervous, so I did it this time, and it worked. So if you're on a bike and a load of soy dogs come at you, just stop and look at them, and they get scared and they don't come for you because they think, he must be nuts. They like chasing, that's what they like doing. I had a friend in Jumpton a few years ago, and he got bitten by a soy dog, and he was crapping himself, and he actually he got treated, the injection, everything. The next day he went back to that soy in his car, and he was looking at the dog to see if it was, had rabies, if it had stuff coming down, but he was okay, thank God. Richard, get an American Bully. They are the best dogs. Okay. You know, the other thing you got to remember, I'm going to buy the dog in Hua Hin. So it's all about availability, what they've got. And dogs are quite expensive here. You know, if you get pedigree dogs, they are quite expensive. There's one dog here. I can't remember what dog it is, but it's 300,000 baht. It's a small dog. And the Thais, the Thais where you see these money people, drive nice cars and stuff. They tend to have these little dogs and they get them permed and everything. I missed that. Prince Fergus, you've done 5 memberships. Thank you very much. So again, if you want to be in on this scheme, click the 3 dots next to your name and opt in. And then if somebody buys 5 memberships like this, he can't choose who they go to. He just says give 5 memberships and they'll go out. So 10 people are members. But remember, it has to be renewed. If you don't like the membership, if it's not for you, you don't need to renew it. But it will run out after a month. But at least you can come in and have a taster on the member stream tonight. That'll be Bangkok time right now. It's 21:03. I'll have a break at 9:30 and then back with the members at 10:45. Paul says the ads I get are for colon irrigation. Very nice. Too much information there. Anders, wow, thank you for the membership. Okay, there you go. That's Prince Fergus left you that. Shane, I thought Facebook was for old people. Well, I'm old, so yeah, I must be doing something right on it. I got 54. Coming up, is it 54,800 followers on there now? One from Chris there. Thomas, happy birthday, my friend Thomas. He's in the stream tonight. Congratulations on your upcoming move. Look forward to some time when you get settled in. So Thomas, the guy on screen now, he's the guy who you see sometimes in the video. We went to the landmark and we had lunch, and today is his birthday. And we'd actually planned to go to a hotel in Soy 11. I forget the name of it, but they've got a really nice Indian restaurant there. And we were going to go there and have an Indian meal for his birthday. And I forgot I've got a stream and I didn't want to rush. So we went to the Royal Oak today. And Thomas had a roast dinner, so I treated him for his birthday. So nice to see you in the stream, Thomas. API says ocean or freshwater fishing in Hua Hin. I guess it's going to be ocean, isn't it? It could be freshwater because they've got a lake there. Yeah, it probably, but both. I know you can go out on boats from the harbour. They've got a nice pier. A few piers in Hua Hin. You can go out, you can hire boats and stuff or go out sea fishing. I remember years ago, me and I think it was my friend Simon, 2 other people, did we have our wives with us? I can't remember. We went out on this kind of flatbed fishing boat, quite big. And as we were catching fish, there was a guy with a propane stove, and he was, we'd pull the fish up, and within 5 minutes of it being swimming in the sea, we were actually eating it. I mean, how fresh is that? Dog says, beautiful caves to visit Hua Hin. I cancelled Phuket for Hua Hin. Phuket's getting really expensive now. A lot of traffic, and there's getting a bit of crime down there as well now. I'm going to have to watch NDTV. It all sounds like exciting stuff today. Okay, another thank you there from Brandon. Rachel, how you doing? Hello from US. Nice picture there, talking of dogs. I don't know what kind of dog it is. It's quite small, cute face there. Orb, you got it right, Peter. Great channel. Thank you very much. Stephen James, I was a fan of MC Hammer. Does that count? Do you remember him? You can't touch this. Right. Just say thank you to Joyce Roman. He's been a member for 30 months. You missed my super chat with a name suggestion for your dog. Well, I will come to it. I'm going to look for it now. Let's have a look. 30 months. Thanks for that. Let's see if we can find that. Oh, is it gone? There it is. Rob, I missed you as well, didn't I? Treat your young lady to a bubble tea, an Irish coffee for yourself, old man. Oh, fella. Thanks, Rob. I want to put these on screen, but I can't see them on the actual chat at the moment. So if they come up, then I'll show them. I've done that one. Let's see if I can find them. Yeah, it's hard, because I try to keep the chat going, and sometimes I miss stuff like this. Let me go back. Who's that? No. Okay. All right. Well, thanks, guys. I hope I haven't missed. Okay, I got this one right. You said, "Hi, Pete. Another name for your dog, Taz." We're going to get a male dog, and we kind of quite like the name Max. I know it's very common, but it's easy, isn't it? But thanks again, Joyce Rummer, for the super chat. Let's go back to someone missed. I'm just trying to find out where I was. I don't want to reread these out. I think it was around here with Thomas. Yeah, there we go. Did I put that up there? Right, Catman, we'll start with you. Hi, Peter. You look very healthy. Are you going back on a diet again? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but there was, I lost a lot of weight. I came here, I was 108. I did a diet and I went down to 97 and I put the weight back on again. When I came here, I was 108, right? And I went right up recently to 111 kilos. If you look at my videos from 2 months ago, I mean, I was really, really fat. Okay. And I'm cheating now because I've tried, I don't know how I did it the first time, but I've tried at least 3 or 4 serious attempts to lose weight this time around. There's just too many food options here. It's just too tempting. There's an old saying, some people eat to live and others live to eat. And I'm the person who lives to eat, not the other way around. Okay. So what I've done, I'm on the weight loss injections at the moment. It's costing me 12,500 baht a month, but they really do work. I don't know if you can see it in my face now, but in 6 weeks, I've lost 6 kilos. I was up to 111. I've just weighed myself, funny enough, before this, and I'm 106 kilos. I'm going to keep those injections. I'll take it tomorrow, actually. It's 1 jab every Monday. There's no side effects. I started with 2.5 milligrams the first month. I should go up to 5 the second month, but it's still working. So I haven't increased the dose because it's more expensive. So I'm still on 2.5, but they do work. You still need to have some willpower because it's not like you're never hungry. You still get hungry and you still have your moments. But what it does, it stops you. Like I've had dinner now. Sometimes I used to get hungry like 11 o'clock at night. I won't get hungry at 11 o'clock tonight. And in fact, tomorrow when I wake up, I probably won't have any breakfast because I won't be hungry. Then I'll probably start to get hungry about 1 and I will eat, but I'll think about what I'm eating. I'm still eating bread and stuff like that, which I shouldn't. But I think you can see from my face, I'm starting to go down. I'm starting to lose my gut again. And I really want to get down to about 95. Any lower than 95, I just look really old. When I got down to 97, the thing about being fat is you look younger because it stretches your face out and stuff. But yeah, my face is going down again. It was, I was really carrying it 6 weeks ago. So I'm really happy it's coming down. The other thing, and you'll laugh at this, but I'm being serious. I'm actually having a serious attempt again at not drinking alcohol. I've done that cold turkey. Now I'm the sort of guy, I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic, but I was drinking every single night, which is kind of dependable. So I was drinking quite a lot. I was drinking kind of like, I was going to the Red Lion and having 2-3 pints of beer at 6 o'clock. I'd come home at 8. I wouldn't have anything else till about 9:30. Then I'd have whiskey sodas. Then about 12 o'clock, I'd have another beer and a big shot of whiskey, and then I was knocked out. And I was doing that for quite a while. And I've decided to try my best to stop drinking. Now, I had my last drink on the 1st. It's the 5th today, isn't it? Now, what happens is you get terrible when you give up drinking. If you're quite a heavy drinker, you get terrible insomnia. You can't sleep. It's starting to get better now. The first night I went to bed and I laid awake. I lay there till 4:30 in the morning. I went to bed at 11. I lay there till 4:30 in the morning, fell asleep and woke up at 5:45. I was knackered all day, slept a little bit on the sofa. Second day, nearly as bad. Third day, not quite as bad. And then last night I went to bed, I fell straight to sleep, woke up after a half an hour for about 20 minutes, and then I slept for the rest of the night. So I'm hoping today will be good. The main reason I've decided to give up drink, there's a lot of reasons, but the main reason I've decided to give is because in Hua Hin, I'm going to be dependent on my scooter and car a lot because I'm not in town and I want to go into town. I want to take my girlfriend. We go out to night markets. We go out to restaurants. We go out and explore places, and we might not come home till 9-10 o'clock at night. And I know if I drink, I'm going to have a pint or two, a drink, 1 or 2, and think, it's okay. And they do spot breathalyzer checks all over Hua Hin regular. I'm on a Facebook page that tells you where they are, but even so, and I just decided, I don't want to drink and drive. I don't want to spend the money. I used to wake up in the morning feeling like shit. Some nights I didn't want to drink, but I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep, and I'd have a few drinks. And like I say, touch wood. I know you've heard it before, but it's been 5. This is my what are we on now? We're on the 5th now. So this is my 5th night now. It will be a challenge tonight because after the live streams, it's always nice to pack everything away after the member stream, sit down, have a couple of cold beers, and I'm not going to do that. But what I found helps me a lot is having a bottle of soda water, because I used to drink whiskey soda water. So now I have a bottle of soda water in the same glass, and I kind of almost don't notice it. So that's going to help a lot with the weight as well, because the beer got to the Red Lion pub, 3 pints of beer. A pint of beer is about 368 calories. So 3 of them, you're already at 1,000 calories. Come home and have another couple of San Miguel Lights, which I drink at home. Even so, there's another 200 calories, whatever's in the whiskey. So I'm probably saving 1,500 calories a day just on drinks. So I'm really going for it this time. I want to get healthy. I don't want to be, morning kind of, I won't drink again, and I have felt great today. This morning I woke up and I haven't felt like this for a long time. So I figured in a month's time I'm going to be in Hua Hin. I want my lifestyle to change. I'll suffer now for this month. By the time I get down there next month, I should be over it and I should be, good to go, as it were. Brandon Hunt says most educated Thais make between 30 and 45,000 baht per month. I don't know about that. My girlfriend was earning 24,000. She works in a hospital full time. Is she educated? Would they trust her to work in a hospital? I don't know. Okay, let me skip some of these, get to some of the newer ones. Right, J Easy Peter. We look forward to your Hua Hin videos. Great place and best of luck with the move. Thanks very much. Prince Focus, you're welcome, guys. Enjoy the member stream. So much more awaiting. Thank you. Again, okay. There, I found that, Rob. Thanks, Rob. I found it eventually. Old man. Is it Nabru? Hey, Peter. Neat channel. Stories are fun. Thank you very much. I'll just show this picture again. If you came in late, guess who this is, right? No prizes for winning. Don't know how old I was there. About 30, I guess. I'm definitely in Southeast Asia. As I said earlier, if you look at the front of my T-shirt, it's wet with sweat. A bit slimmer than I am now, 30 odd years ago. What should we do now? Let's have a look. Let's put these for people who came in late. Let's put these rates up again. Okay, right. Let's get back on, crack on, as it were. Yeah, Martin says, is it Diazepam? I can get strong sleeping tablets from chemists, pharmacies here under the counter. They'll knock you out in 5 minutes, but I don't want to go from one drug to another. The problem is if I'm reliant on alcohol to go to sleep, I come off alcohol, then I go onto tablets, and I come off the tablets, I'm going to have the same problem. So I've chosen to do the cold turkey, as it were. I'm on night 5. I'm making good progress. I think by the end of the second week, I'll be absolutely spot on. And I really don't want to go back to drinking. I'm sure there's going to be times when I wish I could have a beer with a meal or be out with a friend, and I think one beer won't hurt. But it's like smoking. You have that one. I was a smoker, and I must have given up half a dozen times before I actually really gave up. I've had times where I gave up smoking for a year, and I've been in the garden with my wife. I thought, I'll have one cigarette. It won't. I'm not hooked anymore. And then 3 days later, you have one more. That's how it works, addiction, And then 2 days later, and then, okay, I'll just have one after dinner. And then you start cooking dinner at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then, okay, well, I'll only have one after a meal. So I have one after breakfast, one after lunch, one after dinner, and 2 in the evening. And then before you know it, you're on 40 a day again. It's the same with alcohol, Oh, I'll have one casually, but I won't drink at home. Then you go out every night because you've got this rule you won't drink at home. So, it's going to be hard, but I've made up my mind. Shane says, it's not easy staying off the old wagon. Absolutely. Anders, I never drink. Thai American, Anders, do you drink alcohol? Okay, we've answered that. Cupid stunt. I've got to be careful how I say that. We don't want to be drinking when I say that. I was reading about these GLP-1 weight loss injections causing heart attacks and blindness. There are class action lawsuits against the I can't say the words, the companies going on now. Well, I take that with a pinch of salt for a couple of reasons. It does. Okay, first of all, it's been passed by the FDA in America. Okay, so they don't pass drugs easily. They got to go through rigorous tests for years. Okay, so it's been passed for them. Any drug that somebody takes, it doesn't matter if it's the safest drug in the world, there's going to be a certain group of people who suffer, who can't take it. Look at COVID. The majority of people who took the COVID vaccine were fine. It didn't work, but they were fine. But there were people who had serious conditions. Some people died because they had underlying health conditions. So for me personally, I'm on my 6th week. For me, it's working. I haven't had a heart attack. I'm losing the weight. I'll take that very small risk for the sake of losing, the weight as much as I can. There's hundreds of thousands of people on it around the world. Okay, how many heart attacks do you hear about? I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Of course it does, but that can happen to any drug. Did I say thank you to you, Carl? Good work for cutting down. Thanks for that Australian $2.99. Thank you very much. Anders, that's a good point. That does work as well. It's portion size. My friend Steve, who I went to Canterbury with on the scooter, he's very slim physique. And I said, how do you manage it? And I watched him eat. He'll go for a burger and chips, French fries. I'll eat the burger and French fries, or I used to. He cuts his burger in half, separates his French fries, and he'd eat half and he'd tell them to bag up, and that'd be his dinner. So he got 2 meals for the price of one, and his stomach never grew big. That's how he never got really fat. Travel man, Peter, try a simple yoga exercise. God, I'd rather hit my head against the wall. You'll see results in 3 days. No medicine or strict diet needed. I will share it with you. Simple and effective. Look, thanks for the tip, but I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. Yoga I'd get so bored in about 10 seconds, I'd give it up. So I'm not even going to attempt it, but thanks for the tip. I'd rather go for a walk in the park and cut down on the food and drink and everything. Not at all, Paul. I don't really like to use the word fans. Let's say viewers, but there's people who go down, to the Hua Hin occasionally, and it's not, it's not like I'm chained to the town. Of course, I'm going to come up to Bangkok. I'm going to, come up, book into a hotel for 3-4 nights, do a few videos up here. It's it's only 3 hours away, isn't it? Andrew, good evening, sir. Peter, just checking in from Chechnya. Andrew's on his travels with his backpack going across from Bournemouth, from somewhere in the UK, south in the UK, all the way to Southeast Asia. Chechnya. Sounds wonderful, Andrew. Rather you than me. Right. Thai America. Anders. Okay, you're talking to someone else. Right. The Wonderful World of Whittaker. I will never stop drinking alcohol. I only drink on weekends, but I binge drink, which probably isn't good. So if I was like you, I wouldn't stop. But there's no grey areas in my life. I'm the sort of person, like what I admired about my ex-wife. She could smoke 4 cigarettes a day and she really enjoyed them. I think she still smokes 4 cigarettes a day. She used to have her first cigarette after lunch, and then she'd have her second cigarette after dinner, and then she'd have a cigarette before she went up for a shower, and then she had a cigarette after a shower, and that was it. Well, if I could do that, or like you said, drink at the weekend, I wouldn't stop because it's enjoyable. But the problem for me is I can't just have a drink at the weekend. It's like once I start, it's every night. The one thing that saved my liver, I think, and I have had tests, the one thing that saved my liver is I've never touched it in the daytime. It's been a really strong rule of mine. It doesn't matter where I've been or what I've done. I just never touched it in the day. So my body's had time to repair. I've only drank for kind of like 3 to 4 hours every evening. So 20 hours a day, I was not drinking alcohol. Anton, thank you, mate, for that. I appreciate that. I drink bottled water and don't miss beers. I have an occasional monkey shoulder, nice whiskey. A friend in Bangkok who owns condos said after the earthquake, 80 condo buildings closed for repairs. Thoughts? I haven't heard the news about 40 to 80 condo buildings closed for repairs, but then it's not the sort of news I was looking for. But when I do go through the Tiger and the Bangkok Post and news online like that, I haven't come across a story that says, I'm not saying he's lying or it's not true. It's just when I look at certain periodicals on the internet, I've never come across these stories. I do know there was superficial damage to a lot of high rises, and I do know that thousands of them had volunteer engineers go in and inspect them, and most of it was superficial, and there was only one building that fell down at the earthquake, as you know, and there hasn't been anything else after that. So I don't know, I wouldn't be paranoid about it, but then I'm on the 3rd floor of a solid old build. If I'm on the 50th floor of a new build, I might not think that way. But thanks for the super chat, by the way. Okay, where are we? Let's get a few of these, and I've got 8 minutes. Okay. Diazepam is a Valium and is quite addictive. Yeah, well, this is the thing. That's what I'm saying. What's the point in coming off one drug and going on to another one? Lux Rider, I miss Thailand. Pravel says, good looking block back in the day, doing good now too. Okay. Any news on the Thai baht coming down? It's kind of holding its own at the moment, but don't forget as well now, on a kind of related, not too related to the Thai baht, but all I can say is no, it looks the same. But we're coming into high season now, aren't we? We're in October, so I'm noticing a lot more people wandering around because I live near Nana BTS station down one of the soys, but very quiet. And when I walk about, I noticed it the last few days. I've noticed there's quite a few more people about, and we get into high season in November, which I won't be here, thankfully, in Bangkok. And you're going to start seeing the restaurants are filling up, the prices in the hotels are going up because the temperature is going to start to drop now from a 38 degrees down to a quite pleasant 28 degrees. Hence why it is actually high season. So if you're coming over in the next sort of couple of months, expect the weather to be a bit cooler. GC, hi Peter, just joined the live and just finished watching Singapore. Nice to have you in. I do put the Singapore currencies up now. Worked in Singapore for a while. Quite expensive there now, isn't it though? Ollie Bretts, have you heard of anyone ever getting a refund from a bar go? Yeah, I told a story about it on the channel. There was a guy who took a girl out of a go-go bar and they were having a great time and something went wrong and she got pissed off. And in the end, she lost face and they went to a seafood restaurant and she just wanted to show him, she didn't need his money. She took 3,000 baht out of his wallet, slapped it on the table and walked off. That wouldn't happen very often. Broadcast Dave, how you doing? Thank you. Paul Hoskins says, I should get a discount from the bar girls because it only takes me 30 seconds. It takes me longer than that to get my trousers off, Paul. Goodbye. Do you think the Thai girls prefer you since you've lost weight from I don't know what that word means. I think you could be Mr. Roly-Poly and they wouldn't give a shit what you look like as long as your wallet looks good. Stephen James, it used to make me laugh. These guys who go into the bars and they're like, oh yeah, I do have to pay her, but she actually really likes me because I'm a handsome man. How do I know that? Because the girls in the bar told me so. The bar girls, they don't give a shit as long as you got money. And I mean, unless you're Quasimodo, but if he had enough money, they probably wouldn't bother. Right, Damon, Peter, I'm trying to lose weight. I haven't seen my winky in years, only in the mirror. Must be a big mirror, Damon. Whitaker. That's too long to read that out every time. Just eat one meal a day with a snack here and there, Peter. The problem with doing that, your body goes into fasting mode. Okay, I've watched a lot of these Dr. Berg sort of style videos. The trick is to eat normally, but smaller portions, because if you only eat once a day, I mean, I know people who swear on fasting diets and all this, but apparently if you only eat once a day, your body goes into fasting mode. And it clings on to anything it gets. So when you start eating normally again, it basically starts piling on quicker. So the theory is you eat, your normal meals. Maybe you could miss that breakfast, but eat within a small window. So maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock at night, and then from 6:30 all the way through till 1 o'clock the next day, about 16 hours you don't eat. That's a better way to do it, rather than just have that one meal and go into starvation mode. I'm only kind of going on what I've seen on the video, on these kind of videos. Travel man today, I'm not doubting you at all that it doesn't work. I'm sure it does, but yoga is just not something, I know a guy, Steve, I was talking about earlier, he goes to a yoga class here, but I'm just not the sort of guy who could sit down and say, right, I'm going to do some yoga now. It's just not me. I wouldn't even attempt it. I do appreciate your, the advice and stuff, but it really I'm just not a yoga guy. Right, Stephen, currencies don't usually work like that. Over the past year, it has strengthened against the dollar more than the pound or euro. I tell you, I had a pleasant surprise today. I don't know nothing about investments or crypto or anything like that, but I put $3,000 into Bitcoin about a year ago just to see what would happen. I thought, well, if it goes down, I'm not going to lose it all. It will just go down, and I'm not going to take it. I'll just leave it and see what happens. And I looked at it today. I haven't looked at it for ages. I looked at it about 6 months ago, and it was I put 3,000. They took a fee out, so that means I only had 2,900 investment US dollars, 2,900, and then I looked and it was like 3-4. So it actually, hang on, no, I can't remember what the number is, but it was very low. I looked at it today, funny enough, it's $4,000. I was like, wow, you know, $1,000 up, that's good. I don't look at it very often. Have you seen the price of gold? Gold, if you buy a baht of gold in Thailand now, it's 60,350 baht for 1 baht of gold. Can you believe that? 60,350. I remember when I bought a gold chain 25 years ago when it was 7,000 baht for a baht in gold. Right, let's wrap this up. I've got 2 minutes before I've got to clock off and get the other stream set up. So we'll take a few more in. Yeah, I heard that as well, Martin. I'll put that on screen. Loss FH, is it? Yes. Okay, you're talking to someone else. Michael, I'm traveling to Vietnam and Korea next week. It's nice for the strong baht for myself, but that's selfish on my end. It's nothing selfish about it. I mean, the more money you can get, the better it is. Thai American, Kun Peter, would you adopt a dog with a mustache and a drinking problem? Absolutely. I'd whip it out of him. Chris, baht has fallen 14% in the last 3 months. Okay. Anders, Stephen James, I think the dollar lost almost 15%, all of its value because Trump's tariff threats last month. Okay, let's move on to another subject before we go. Peter, it's me or you're freezing up? It's probably you. I've got a really good connection here, high-speed internet. Kelly Harnett says, I swing kettles and bells and feel great. Jim Hayes, one thing I learned when I was going to AA is 1 too many and 20 is not enough. It's how the alcoholic mind works. It's genetic. Some got it and some don't. Okay, but some have got strong characters and some don't as well, right? Naughty Boy says, gold will never go down. Damon, member for 52 months now. I think 3rd member of all the members. Thanks for a great stream. How much you pay for your gold blocks? Oh, I can't speak about that here, Damon. I'll tell you when I see you. Martin Ryder, it's freezing for a few seconds. Okay, then maybe it's something from my end. Hopefully we'll be back. Guys, I'm going to have to knock it on their head. It's just coming up to 9:30. I've got the members stream in 50 minutes time. Right, okay. So, as always, thanks to everyone who left the super chats. Very generous of you. Thank you to Chris, Damon. We didn't see Franco in tonight, so he's probably living it up somewhere. And thanks to all you guys for just joining me. If you're new to the member stream, I'll see you in 15 minutes. As I say, the first half is generally the same as a regular stream. Then we get into the fun stuff a little bit later on, okay? But I've got to fill up my water bottle, go to use the toilet, and get this other stream ready for 15 minutes time. Okay, thanks a lot, and I'll catch you real soon. All I wanna